Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $5,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 78-year-old female. Now, first thing I recommend is going directly to our website, and we've got these quoters on just about every page. So just select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount, put your birthday in there, the other information, and then click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies that are going to offer the lowest rates that you may qualify for. You can also call us at 888-862-9456, and one of our licensed agents can help you understand your pricing and coverage options as well. Now, the first thing we generally recommend when talking to a 78-year-old female looking at $5,000 worth of insurance is, is that really going to be enough to cover your final expenses, right? Just ask that simple question. And in some cases it will, in some cases it won't. Final expenses is typically going to be either a cremation or a burial. Let's start with that cremation. So the average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. Nothing fancy going on there. The other option is when you're going to be cremated and then have some sort of ceremony, maybe a remembrance of life or celebration of life ceremony or something like that. So let's talk about coverage options for those. So the first is, cremation where you're going to come home in a cardboard box or an urn. We would typically recommend around $5,000 to $7,000 worth of coverage. And the reason is, on average, that should cost $1,000 to $2,000, kind of where you're at. But you might be saying, well, Randy, if it's $2,000, why are we recommending $5,000? Well, the reason is our 78-year-old probably wants to live a few years longer, probably would like to get to age 88 perhaps. And we know that the prices on everything go up due to inflation, including cremations. So what we want to do is we want to get somebody approved at their youngest age right now and just make sure that we have enough coverage that it's inflation proof as the years go on. And that $5,000 to $7,000 would take care of that admirably. What it actually does is it inflation proofs the plan going forward in the future. But also, if you were to die sooner than you thought, there's some extra funds there to take care of some extra final expenses or medical bills or credit card bills or something like that. Really great. Protects long-term and short-term both. Now, that cremation where you're going to have some sort of ceremony, that's probably going to cost $3,500 to $4,500. So we would typically recommend anywhere between $7,000 to $10,000. Again, just inflation-proofing the plan for later in life, but also there's some funds, enough funds provided early that if there is some extra expenses, those can be taken care of as well. Now, as far as a funeral goes, the average cost of a funeral right now in the United States is right around $10,000. If you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States with a $10,000 check, they should help you out. They shouldn't be able to get that done, but it's not going to be anything fancy. I can assure you of that. But it's also hard to imagine that they would just turn you away, say, walk out the door, and then you could just walk a couple blocks down the road to one of their competitors and give them the money. It's hard to imagine they would do that. But just understand, that's the cost right now. On average, it's very basic, and it's certainly not inflation proof. So typically what we would recommend is somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000, occasionally $20,000 if you have some really grandiose funeral plans, but on average between $10,000 to $15,000. Now, if you're on a fixed or limited income and money's a little tight, go ahead and just get that $10,000 right now. That covers the most immediate needs, and we can always circle back with you and look at adding more coverage later. Now, it seems like every once in a while somebody will come up to, 78-year-old female and say, hey, I want to get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and leave some money behind for my kids. And then they find out the pricing, the pricing gets a little expensive as you get older at age 78. And then they go, oh, that's just way too expensive. So I'm not going to do anything at all then. Kind of an all or nothing deal. And we don't recommend that, because if you do nothing, then your kids have to pay for everything, or family members. And, just consider they're probably going to have to put it on credit cards at 26% interest rate. So yeah, just don't do that. It's the reason the prices are expensive isn't the insurance company's fault. It's the fact that you waited until you were 78 years old to try to get $20, $30, $40, $50,000. So, look in the mirror if you want to see the reason, the rates are higher. You could have done this earlier in life. So what we recommend, just use this insurance what it's intended for, final expenses. And then if you want to get a separate policy to go just to the children, then kind of treat that separately. And we can help you with 2 different policies on like that. If money's not an object though, and you want to do it all at once, man, we can certainly help you out there too. But we'll just be very flexible based off your unique circumstances and situation. So one thing we always recommend is first day coverage or benefits. That is so important. We do not recommend those plans with 2-year waiting periods. We will talk about that in a minute. You want to stay away from those. But what first day coverage means is, hypothetically, if your plan were approved and issued today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write that check for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever it is, from the very first day, which is what you want. That's the best coverage. It's going to have the lowest pricing. Now, some people would say, you're right, Randy, I do want that first day coverage, but I hear they ask health questions and I'm not in the best of health. To which we say, hey, that's our concern, not your concern, at least from an insurance standpoint. And the reason is that's why we work with so many different insurance companies. All of them have different health questions. All of them have different underwriting. And right now, we're getting 90 to 95% of the people we work with approved for first day coverage or benefits. So really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to get you qualified for first day coverage is if you had some really significant health issues just because you waited too long. Like maybe you had a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months. Maybe you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or in a hospital, or in a nursing home, something like that. If that were the case, we would typically refer you out to a different insurance company. The other thing that seems to happen on a weekly basis, it seems, is somebody will call up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week, and they didn't have insurance, and we don't have any money, and now their body's down at the funeral home, and the funeral home director is not going to do anything until we get a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick so we can get some money to the funeral home director. And we have to let them know that there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to approve a policy on somebody who's already dead. That's not the way this insurance works. You have to be alive to qualify for this insurance. And it's sad that a family member died, but it's even more sad that they didn't have this insurance. They knew they were going to die someday. They probably thought they were going to get around to this insurance someday. And then someday they just went and died, and now they're gone. And now their family members have to figure out a way to pay for this. And typically they're going to have to put it on a credit card, paying 26% interest, and it's going to take years and years to pay off. Is that the legacy you want to leave behind? Pretty terrible last memory of somebody, to let them know that, they just stuck you with a $10,000 to $15,000 bill that you're going to have to mysteriously come up with the money miraculously. Typically, you're going to have to put it on a credit card. So don't let that be your legacy. This insurance is affordable. If you need to start small, we can do that. We can always help you add more coverage later. Now, one thing we don't recommend, as I mentioned, is those plans with 2-year waiting periods. Yeah, we don't recommend those at all. And Colonial Penn's a fairly well-known company out there. I think it's just because they advertise all the time. That $9.95 TV commercial, I think that's on every 7 minutes on TV. At least it seems that way. But you may not know this, but that $9.95 plan is a 2-year waiting period. Ouch. Yeah, you want to avoid that stuff. I can tell you that. But they're not the only 2-year waiting period company. There's other ones out there like Mutual of Omaha, the United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber, just a host of other insurance companies out there too. That's all they sell is 2-year waiting periods. And some of these companies out there have done an amazing job of convincing the American public that the only thing that they'll qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period if they're over age 50, to which we always say, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Yes, we do. Now, our 78-year-old female probably just got done watching one of those Colonial Penn commercials and probably feeling pretty good about herself, thinking, man, I waited until age 78. I'm going to go get me some $9.95 insurance, and I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. I bet I can even get $50,000 for $9.95. And then she checks with the Colonial Penn agent or goes on their website and looks up the rates like we've done for you right here, and sees that a 78-year-old female for 1 unit of coverage, which is $9.95, is only going to pay out $657. So $657 isn't even enough for a cremation anywhere we know of in the United States. And it wouldn't matter if it was, because it's got a 2-year waiting period. They're going to sock you with a 2-year waiting period where they're not going to pay out if you die of any health or medical reason. Now, some people would say that these companies that offer these low teaser rates do so not because they don't want you to buy the teaser rate that provides really minuscule coverage. They just use that to get you into their marketing funnel. And then they call you or get in touch with you, and they show you how minuscule that coverage is. And then they try to upsell you into more coverage, which is more profitable for them. And we would never say anything like that about Colonial Penn, of course. But some people have expressed concerns about that. And I guess you would have to make that determination on your own, just seeing, running it through your mind, if $9.95, if $657 is going to work for you, take care of all your final expense needs. Yeah, you'll have to think about that. So let's do this. We want to look at $5,000 worth of coverage. So they sell it by unit. So we got to play around with these units. I'm going to guess it's around 7 units. Nope, looks like we're going to have to go up to 8 units here. 8 units. Okay. So 8 units would be, there we go. 8 units is around $5,256. At age 78, you can't get exactly $5,000 worth of coverage with Colonial Penn because they sell it by the unit. They don't sell it by the coverage amount like most other insurance companies. So it's a little bit more challenging and a little bit more confusing. But it's around $5,000. That's around $80. Okay. Let's go see what that same $5,000 would cost with a first day coverage company. Here we go. So we're going to look at $5,000 for a female, age 78 right here. We're going to click get quotes. And again, we're about $80 right here for $5,000. If we look right here, yeah, we can get this for around $45, $46. So, not quite 200%. It's a little bit under 200% higher than Colonial Penn is. But that's still awfully expensive. And it's got a 2-year waiting period. If you look at these plans here, they're level. Level means first day coverage. And that's exactly what you want. But why would you overpay? Why would you ever overpay? This is 45 versus 80. So it's about $35 a month more. That's $35 a month times 12 months. That's an extra $420 a year you're overpaying. If our 78-year-old female lives until age 88, you will be overpaying $4,200 by going with Colonial Penn. You'll overpay right around $4,200 versus going with a company that we can help you with that can get you first day coverage. Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever give that much extra money to an insurance company, especially an insurance company that's going to sock you with a 2-year waiting period? We don't recommend that at all. You need to be a smart consumer. And if you're not a smart consumer, there's nothing wrong with that. We can just help you be a smart consumer. Yeah. So let's help you out there. Let's take a look at some other companies here. You'll be able to see all these different companies on your quarter when you pull it up. So we're like about $45. Even here, this company, $15 a month, more. And you don't think that's that much. It all adds up. Yeah, so $15 a month times 12 months is an extra $180 a year. After 10 years, you will have overpaid right around $1,800. Why would you ever do that? Why overpay? Why start a policy knowing you're going to overpay the longer you live? You may as well just get the lowest price, and we can help you get the lowest price. Let's see, here's another one. Oh, here's another one. Lincoln Heritage. So they're a fine company, I guess, but look at that pricing, $65. It is level first day coverage, but it's $65. So Lincoln Heritage has got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2-3 different funeral homes to get you the lowest pricing, maybe do a couple other things, but they don't do that for free. No, they charge for that. There's a cost for that. It's built into the premiums. So they're like $20 more a month, right? They're 65 versus 45. So let's do the math on this. $20 a month times 12 months, an extra $240 a year. If you live an extra 10 years, and our female would be from 78 up to 88, that'd be an extra $2,400 you would overpay to Lincoln Heritage. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth paying Lincoln Heritage $2,400 roughly to make 2 or 3 phone calls and do a couple of other things that might only take an hour or so to do? A lot of people would say that's a pretty good payday for the insurance company for them to just get that money and, spend so little time doing that. And we would agree. I think most people would. So what we recommend you do is let us get you approved for one of these other lower price companies. And then what we actually do is we provide a free funeral and estate planning guide. You can download that off our website for free. And you just download it and then you print it out. And once it's printed out, you fill it out. You write out who gets what goes where, and what you want done after you're gone. And then keep that with your insurance policy. And then when you pass away, everything's in one place and your family has to go to that one place. And they'll know that they're not only protected financially with the insurance, but also emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide. Because all they'll need to do is open it up and start reading it, and then just follow your wishes. All they'll have to do is execute your wishes, and they'll know that they're doing everything exactly the way you wanted it done. And that will give them such peace of mind, knowing that they are just honoring your wishes. And there's not any money out of their pocket because they're going to have the insurance money to take care of all that stuff. But what a wonderful gift of love to leave behind. They will not know that you not only love them in life, but they'll know that you loved and protected them in death when you wouldn't be around, but actually when you would need them they would need you that one last time. So yeah, what a wonderful legacy to leave behind. If you want to leave behind a legacy like that, we can certainly help you out with that. We've got a special quote for our YouTube visitors, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And if you go there, we've got a special quote that's going to get you the best rates and the lowest pricing specifically for YouTube. And you can call us at our toll-free 888-862-9456. Our agents can help you out with that as well. But, if you've got an existing policy and you want us to price shop it to see if we can save you money, or you just want to add coverage to that, we can help you out with that. If you're looking for brand new coverage or just have some questions, we can help you out with that. But, we look forward to helping you get the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you with that at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.